This is not an audiobook for the curious. It is not for the comfortable. And it is not for those looking for shortcuts. This is for those who feel there is more inside them. More discipline, more focus, more strength. And who are tired of living below that potential. Welcome to Train Like a Commando. Master your mind, body, and willpower. When most people think of a commando, they imagine muscle, weapons, speed, or endurance. But every elite soldier knows the truth. The first battlefield is not physical. It is mental. Before the body obeys, the mind must be trained. Before discipline shows in action, it must be forged in thought. Before strength is visible, it is invisible, quiet, internal, unshakable. This audiobook is not about motivation. Motivation fades. This is about conditioning, training your mind to remain calm under pressure, your willpower to hold steady when comfort calls, and your focus to stay locked when distractions attack from every direction. Commandos are not born different. They are trained differently. They train to move when tired, to decide when afraid, to continue when every instinct says quit. And while you may never enter a battlefield, life will test you just the same. Pressure, failure, uncertainty, pain, discipline when no one is watching. This audiobook is your blueprint, not to become aggressive, but controlled, not to become rigid, but resilient, not to dominate others, but to master yourself. As you listen, do not rush. Let the words settle. Let the silence between sentences work on you. Because from this moment forward, you are no longer training casually. You are training with intent, with awareness, with purpose. The mission begins now. Chapter 1. Mental Toughness. Mastering Your Mind. Theme: Building Resilience and Focus. Core Lesson: Mental strength is the foundation of all commando skills. When most people think of a commando, they imagine strength, speed, or weapons. But the first battlefield is not in the mountains, jungles, or urban combat zones. It's in your own mind. Mental toughness is what separates someone who gives up when the alarm rings at 5 a.m. from someone who pushes through exhaustion to achieve what others thought impossible. It's what allows soldiers, athletes, and high performers to endure discomfort, uncertainty, and fear. As Navy SEAL Jocko Willink famously said, "Discipline equals freedom." Discipline is the visible structure, but mental toughness is the engine behind it. Without mental strength, discipline crumbles under stress. The power of perspective. Consider the story of Chris Kyle, one of the most decorated snipers in U.S. military history. In combat, Kyle faced constant danger, high stakes, and intense stress. Yet he repeatedly emphasized that surviving wasn't about physical skill alone, it was about controlling the mind. He trained to manage fear, anticipate reactions, and make split-second decisions calmly. This is the essence of mental toughness, controlling your responses even when everything around you is chaotic. Similarly, elite athletes rely heavily on mental conditioning. Michael Jordan, in the peak of his career, often described how he visualized entire games in his mind before stepping on the court. He trained not just his body, but his mind to anticipate failure, pressure, and opposition, turning mental rehearsal into actual performance. The lesson is clear. You can't control what happens outside, but you can control how you respond inside. Step 1. Visualization exercises. One of the most effective tools for building mental resilience is visualization. Close your eyes for 5 minutes every morning. Imagine a challenging situation, running out of time on a critical task, facing criticism, or even physical exertion. Visualize yourself responding calmly, decisively, and successfully. Engage all your senses. What do you see, hear, feel, even smell? Step 2. Stress inoculation. Mental toughness grows when you expose yourself to controlled stress. This is called stress inoculation. Practical exercises. Take cold showers for 2 to 5 minutes daily to train tolerance to discomfort. Time-bound physical or mental challenges. Push-ups, planks, or memory drills under ticking clock. Simulate high-pressure environments in small, safe ways. Deliver a short speech in front of a mirror, or solve a difficult puzzle while being timed. This may feel uncomfortable at first, but discomfort is the gym of the mind. Over time, your ability to remain calm and focused in real crises increases dramatically. Step 3. Mindfulness under pressure. Meditation and mindfulness are not just for peace of mind, they are mental weapons. Start with 5 to 10 minutes a day of focused breathing. Notice when your mind wanders and gently bring it back to your breath. During stressful tasks, pause, take 3 deep breaths, and recalibrate. Real-world evidence. Research shows that mindfulness reduces stress, improves decision-making, and enhances emotional regulation, all critical skills for high-performance environments. Step 4. Journaling for mental resilience. Journaling is a deceptively simple tool to strengthen mental toughness. Every day, write down 3 challenges you faced, reflect on how you responded and what you learned, identify patterns where fear or doubt affected your performance, plan strategies to face similar situations with improved mindset. This method is backed by research in psychology. Articulating thoughts and fears outside your head increases clarity, reduces anxiety, and improves decision-making. Example: top athletes like Serena Williams and Kobe Bryant have publicly spoken about using journaling and self-reflection to process setbacks, maintain focus, and improve performance. Step 5. Adopt the one more mentality. Mental toughness is also about persistence. Commandos, athletes, and high performers train to push one step further than their comfort allows. Practical exercise. When running, push for one more lap. When reading or studying, focus for one more 10-minute block. When facing a difficult conversation, stay one more minute longer than you want. This small, consistent push creates neural patterns for resilience. You learn that discomfort is temporary, and mastery comes from enduring it. Example: Jocko Willink and other SEAL instructors routinely remind recruits that the moment they want to quit is precisely the moment to push further. This builds confidence in their ability to endure any challenge. Chapter 2. Physical Conditioning. Build a Warrior's Body. Theme: Conditioning for Endurance, Strength, and Agility. Core lesson: the body supports the mind. Physical fitness enables peak performance. When most people think of mental toughness, they imagine discipline and focus. But mental resilience and strategy are useless if your body can't execute under pressure. Physical conditioning is the foundation upon which every commando skill is built. George St. Pierre, a former UFC champion and elite athlete, once said, "It's not about being the strongest, it's about being able to endure and adapt." That's the essence of commander-level physical training. It's not about looking impressive. It's about building functional strength, stamina, and flexibility that supports survival, endurance, and peak performance. The warrior's baseline: functional strength. Functional strength isn't about lifting the heaviest weights in the gym. It's about preparing your body for real-world tasks: lifting, climbing, carrying, sprinting, and recovering quickly. Practical exercises for functional strength. Push-ups and variations: standard, wide, diamond, and explosive. These strengthen arms, shoulders, chest, and core while building endurance. Pull-ups and chin-ups. Essential for climbing, swinging, and upper body strength. Squats and lunges, target legs and balance. Weighted or bodyweight, these exercises mimic real-life movements. Core exercises: planks, hanging leg raises, and Russian twists for stability. A strong core protects against injury and enhances overall performance. Example: Special Forces operators often carry 40 to 60 pounds of gear during training marches. Without a strong core, functional strength, and leg endurance, this becomes impossible. Functional training in the gym translates directly to mission success. Endurance: outlast everyone. Strength alone isn't enough. A commando's greatest advantage is endurance, the ability to keep moving when others stop. Practical endurance exercises. Running. Start with 2 to 3 kilometers daily and gradually increase distance. Incorporate interval sprints to simulate bursts of exertion. Swimming. Build stamina while reducing impact on joints. Great for full body conditioning circuit training. Combine push-ups, squats, pull-ups, and burpees in rounds to train muscles and cardiovascular system simultaneously. Real-world example: Navy SEALs during Hell Week run miles in full gear, often in cold water. Their conditioning allows them to maintain operational effectiveness under extreme fatigue. Agility. Move fast, move smart. Endurance and strength are useless if you can't move efficiently. Agility training improves balance, coordination, and reflexes, critical for navigating unpredictable environments. Practical agility exercises. Ladder drills. Fast footwork to improve speed and coordination. Cone drills. Change direction quickly while maintaining balance. Plyometrics. Jumps, box jumps, and explosive movements build reactive power. Example: in combat or sports, agility allows you to avoid hazards, evade opponents, and respond instantly. Tiger Woods, a golf legend, uses agility and footwork drills to enhance balance and power in his swing. Precision, speed, and adaptability are universal across disciplines. Mobility and injury prevention. A strong, fast, and enduring body is useless if it breaks down. Commandos maintain peak condition through mobility and injury prevention. Practical exercises. Dynamic stretching, arm circles, leg swings, and hip rotations before workouts. Yoga or controlled stretching improves flexibility, reduces stiffness, and prevents injury. Foam rolling and self-massage release muscle tension and improve recovery. Example: elite athletes like Novak Djokovic credit their longevity to daily mobility work, which allows them to sustain peak performance year after year. Commandos apply the same principle under far harsher conditions. Stepwise approach for beginners. If you're starting from scratch, build a baseline: 10 push-ups, 10 squats, 1 kilometer run, 30-second plank. Repeat daily. Increase intensity gradually. Add representatives, distance, or weight weekly. Mix training types, alternate strength, endurance, and agility days. Track progress. Record performance to monitor growth and maintain motivation. Remember, slow, consistent growth beats sporadic, intense effort. The body adapts best to manageable stress applied consistently. Nutrition and recovery. Physical conditioning isn't just about movement. Fuel and recovery determine results. Nutrition. Prioritize protein for muscle repair, complex carbs for energy, and healthy fats for endurance. Hydrate consistently. Sleep. 7 to 9 hours per night is essential for recovery, cognitive function, and immune support. Rest days. Strategically scheduled to allow muscle repair and mental rejuvenation. Example: SEAL training emphasizes sleep management just as much as physical exertion. Inadequate rest dramatically reduces performance, both mentally and physically. Key takeaways from Chapter 2. Functional strength enables real-world performance. Endurance allows you to outlast challenges. Agility helps you respond to unpredictable threats. Mobility and recovery prevent breakdown and sustain progress. Nutrition and rest are as critical as physical training. A commando's body is a tool, weapon, and shield all at once. The stronger, faster, and more resilient your body becomes, the more your mind can operate without distraction. Physical conditioning is not vanity, it's freedom under pressure. By consistently practicing strength, endurance, agility, and mobility. You prepare your body for the challenges of high-stress environments, extreme fatigue, and unpredictable situations. Your body becomes an extension of your mental toughness, the platform on which all commando skills are built. Chapter 3. Situational Awareness. See everything, miss nothing. Theme: Observation and alertness. Core lesson: Awareness keeps you safe and informed. Imagine walking down a crowded street, lost in thought. Someone bumps into you from behind. You flinch, stumble, and barely catch yourself. A bag is snatched nearby. You didn't see it coming, but it was happening all along. Situational awareness is the difference between reacting after an event and preventing it before it happens. For commandos, law enforcement officers, and high-performance professionals, awareness is a survival skill, a strategic advantage, and a mental discipline all at once. As Marine Corps veteran Jocko Willink puts it, discipline equals freedom, but freedom comes from knowing your environment. In other words, knowing what's happening around you gives you options. Options give control. Control gives freedom. The layers of awareness. Situational awareness has 3 layers. Perception, noticing people, movements, sounds, and anomalies. Comprehension, understanding what those observations mean. Projection, predicting what might happen next and preparing to respond. Commandos train relentlessly in all 3 layers. The world is dynamic, dangerous, and unpredictable. The more attuned your senses, the faster and smarter your decisions. Real-world example: security experts often cite airline pilots as a model. They constantly scan instruments, the environment, and other aircraft, not because there's always danger, but to anticipate potential issues before they become emergencies. Step 1. Environmental scanning. Train your eyes and ears to notice details others ignore. Practical exercises. When entering a room, identify exits, potential hazards, and people's positions. Observe movement patterns in public spaces, how people walk, react, or interact. Pick a random object in the room and study it in detail for 1 minute. Then look away and recall its features. Example: in urban environments, FBI agents use this method to spot suspicious behavior long before an incident occurs. Awareness starts with noticing the small things. Step 2. Peripheral vision training. Most people rely on central vision, what they're directly looking at. Peripheral vision is often underdeveloped but critical in high-stakes situations. Exercises to improve it. While focusing on one point, notice movement in your side vision. Play reaction-based sports like table tennis or racquetball. Use a ball or object thrown from a side, catching it without moving your eyes. Example: elite athletes like soccer goalkeepers and quarterbacks constantly train peripheral awareness to anticipate the actions of multiple players at once. Commandos use similar principles in reconnaissance and combat. Step 3. Active listening. Situational awareness isn't only visual. The ears are just as important. Practical exercises. Sit in a busy place and note 5 distinct sounds in the environment. Without labeling them, practice recalling conversations or background noise after short intervals. During meetings or group activities, focus on tone, pitch, and intention, not just words. Real-world application. Law enforcement and military units rely heavily on subtle auditory cues. Footsteps, breathing patterns, or distant movement can signal threats long before they're visible. Step 4. Mental mapping. Once you notice and interpret information, you need to project outcomes. Exercises for mental mapping. Walk into a room and visualize possible scenarios. If X happens, I would do Y. During exercise or sport, anticipate what your opponent might do next. In real life, plan escape routes, fallback options, or alternative strategies in routine environments. Example: police officers are trained to enter unfamiliar buildings with a mental map of exits, cover points, and obstacles. That mental rehearsal allows them to act decisively under stress. Step 5. Daily awareness habits. Awareness is a skill strengthened with habit, not occasional effort. Morning scan. Observe your environment during your morning walk or commute. Notice 3 things you didn't see yesterday. Check-in exercises. Pause during your day to ask, what's happening around me right now? What could change quickly? Reflective journaling. At the end of the day, record situations where awareness helped or could have helped. Example: military veterans and elite athletes often use reflection as a tool to improve observation. Every small detail noticed or missed becomes data for growth. Practical scenario exercise. Here's a condensed commando drill you can practice daily. Enter a cafe or public space, identify exits, people, objects, and potential hazards in 60 seconds. Listen for unusual sounds or conversations. Mentally note 3 possible situations that could require immediate action. Reflect, what did I notice? What did I miss? Performing this regularly rewires your brain to notice, analyze, and predict, turning everyday spaces into arenas for mental training. Key takeaways from Chapter 3. Situational awareness is perception plus comprehension plus projection. Train your eyes, ears, and mind to notice details others miss. Practice peripheral vision, active listening, and mental mapping daily. Awareness is a habit, not a skill you pull out only in emergencies. Small, consistent drills compound into a heightened state of readiness. A commando's ability to survive and thrive is directly linked to how clearly they see and interpret their environment. Mental toughness is useless if your perception is clouded. Physical conditioning is wasted if you walk blindly into danger. Situational awareness bridges the two. By practicing observation, interpretation, and projection every day, you train yourself to anticipate, respond, and adapt long before a situation demands it. Chapter 4. Discipline and Routine. Master your daily life. Theme: habit building and consistency. Core lesson: discipline compounds success and builds reliability. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many people think it's about punishment, rigidity, or forcing yourself to do things you hate. But discipline isn't punishment. It's freedom in structure. Without routine, the mind drifts. Without consistency, progress stalls. Without small, repeated actions, big achievements never materialize. Jocko Willink, former Navy SEAL and author, puts it bluntly: discipline equals freedom. When your day, your habits, and your mind are disciplined, you aren't trapped by chaos. You are liberated to achieve what you choose. The power of morning and evening routines. The way you start and end your day sets the tone for everything in between. Small, consistent rituals anchor your mental state, energy, and focus. Morning routines. Wake up at the same time daily, hydrate, stretch, or do a brief mobility session. Set intentions for the day. Identify your top 3 priorities, optional, journaling, or a short mindfulness practice. Evening routines. Review the day. What went well? What could improve? Plan the next day's priorities. Unplug from screens at least 30 minutes before bed. Reflect on your wins and lessons. Real-world example. Tim Ferriss, author of The 4-Hour Workweek, emphasizes the morning ritual as a foundation for high performance. Navy SEALs have stand-up routines each morning, combining physical exercise, briefings, and goal setting to prime mental and physical readiness. Routines create predictable stability, which allows focus to be devoted to the unpredictable challenges of the day. Time blocking for priority tasks. Discipline isn't about working longer, it's about working smarter. Time blocking is the secret to controlling your day. Practical steps. List your most important tasks. Allocate uninterrupted blocks of time to each task. Protect these blocks. No distractions, no multitasking. Include breaks strategically to maintain energy. Example: Elon Musk famously time blocks his schedule by the hour, assigning specific activities to each block, including meetings, work, and personal time. This precision allows him to achieve extraordinary output while maintaining clarity and control. Time blocking transforms your day from a reactive series of events into a purposeful, disciplined system. Deliberate practice on small, daily actions. The most overlooked secret of mastery is repetition with intention. Small, consistent actions compound over time. Practical steps. Identify microskills relevant to your goals. Practice them daily in focus sessions. Gradually increase difficulty or intensity, reflect on progress, adjust, and repeat. Real-world example: Michael Phelps trained hours daily, perfecting tiny elements of his stroke. Each small adjustment, repeated relentlessly, compounded into world record performance. Commandos use the same principle: clearing a room, navigating terrain, or responding under fire. Repetition of microtasks builds automatic mastery. Discipline isn't flashy, it's the invisible force behind excellence. Tracking progress and accountability. Discipline is fragile without measurement. Accountability ensures that small lapses don't become habits. Practical steps. Maintain a daily log or journal of completed tasks. Track metrics relevant to your goals: distance run, workouts, skills practiced, or personal productivity. Find an accountability partner or coach who checks in weekly. Review progress weekly and adjust routines as needed. Example: weightlifters, marathoners, and military units all track performance metrics meticulously. Every rep, every mile, every maneuver is logged. This allows rapid adaptation, feedback, and growth. Tracking transforms effort into visible progress, which reinforces discipline and motivation. Stepwise approach to daily discipline. Start small. Pick 1 to 2 key habits to anchor your day. Stack habits. Attach new behaviors to existing routines, e.g., meditate after brushing teeth. Protect your schedule. Guard focus blocks like a commander guarding territory. Reflect daily. Review wins and failures, and refine routines. Scale gradually. Expand habits and routines once consistency is achieved. Consistency is more important than intensity. The person who trains daily at 10% will eventually outperform the person who trains at 100% but sporadically. Practical scenario exercise. Here's a daily discipline drill you can start immediately. Morning, 10 to 15 minutes hydrate, stretch, and write your top 3 priorities for the day. Work a training block. Choose one task and focus for a 60-minute time block. No interruptions. Micro-practice. 15 minutes work on a small skill relevant to your long-term goal. Evening reflection. 10 minutes journal what went well, what didn't, and plan the next day. Repeat this sequence daily for 21 to 30 days to form a baseline routine. Adjust timing and tasks as your discipline strengthens. Key takeaways from Chapter 4. Discipline compounds success. Small, repeated actions are more powerful than sporadic bursts. Morning and evening routines anchor your mental state and energy. Time blocking protects focus for high-priority tasks. Deliberate practice ensures mastery of skills over time. Tracking progress and accountability solidifies habits and accelerates growth. Discipline is not about control by others. It is control over yourself. Every habit you form, every routine you follow, Every deliberate action you take compounds into reliability, freedom, and mastery. Master your daily life, and the unpredictable challenges that follow, stress, danger, complexity, become manageable. The disciplined mind and body are ready for anything. Chapter 5. Decision-making under pressure. Theme: quick thinking in stressful situations. Core lesson: commandos act decisively without hesitation. Pressure changes everything. A simple choice in calm conditions can become impossible when stakes are high. Time compresses, stress rises, and fear whispers lies. Under these conditions, indecision kills opportunities, and in extreme cases, it can cost lives. The defining trait of commandos, elite athletes, and high-performing leaders isn't fearlessness. It's the ability to decide clearly under pressure. As Admiral William H. McRaven, former Navy SEAL, famously said, "If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you pride and encourage you to do another task, and another, and another." The wisdom isn't just about making beds, it's about habitually making small decisions consistently, which builds the mental muscle to handle critical choices when stakes are high. Why pressure paralyzes. The human brain under pressure has two competing systems. The emotional brain reacts quickly, often irrationally, driven by fear or desire. The rational brain analyzes, evaluates, and predicts outcomes. Pressure skews the balance toward the emotional brain. Panic slows processing and narrows perspective. Decision-making suffers. The goal is training the mind to act decisively despite fear, uncertainty, and complexity. Example: during the Nagaland terror attacks in India, first responders had to make split-second decisions to evacuate civilians, neutralize threats, and survive themselves. They relied on training, pre-planned procedures, and mental discipline, not calm, rational contemplation alone. Step 1. Simulate high-pressure scenarios. Mental rehearsal prepares you for real-world stress. Practical exercises. Time drills. Set a timer for tasks like solving a problem, assembling a kit, or planning an activity under time limits. Unexpected challenges. Introduce interruptions or distractions while practicing decision-making. Role-play scenarios. Imagine emergencies or high-stakes situations and plan responses. Example: military and law enforcement use stress inoculation exercises, where recruits navigate obstacle courses, make rapid decisions, and adjust strategies under simulated threat. The goal is to normalize decision-making under pressure. Step 2. Prioritize rapid assessment. Not every detail is relevant. Decisive action comes from recognizing the critical variables in a situation. Practical exercises. Identify the 2 to 3 most important factors in a problem, ignoring irrelevant details. Practice classifying information into essential, helpful, and noise. Visualize possible consequences of each choice before committing. Example: firefighters arriving at a burning building quickly assess structure stability, occupancy, and fire spread, then act decisively. Delaying to analyze every detail could cost lives. Step 3. Use the OODA loop. Developed by Air Force Colonel John Boyd, the OODA loop is a powerful framework for high-pressure decision-making. Observe, take in all relevant information, orient, interpret the data within context, decide, choose a course of action quickly, act, implement the decision, and adjust as new information emerges. Practical exercise. Practice OODA in simple daily scenarios, deciding what to eat, managing a minor conflict, or navigating traffic. Increase complexity gradually until it becomes automatic under stress. Example: Fighter pilots use OODA loops in combat to stay ahead of opponents, continuously observing, adjusting, and acting faster than the enemy. Step 4. Trust your training. Decisions under pressure rely on muscle memory and prepared habits as much as conscious thought. Practical exercises. Repeat critical tasks until they become automatic. Record lessons from past decisions and reflect on mistakes. Trust that preparation and repetition provide the foundation for quick, effective action. Example: in the 2010 Chilean mine rescue, engineers and rescuers relied on rehearsed procedures, step-by-step drills, and calculated risks. When split-second choices were required, they acted instinctively, based on training, not panic. Step 5. Accept imperfection. Decisions under pressure are rarely perfect. Hesitation is often costlier than imperfection. Commit to making a choice with the best available information, accept that mistakes may happen and have contingency plans. Reflect afterward to learn, not dwell. Example: SEAL teams make life or death decisions with incomplete intelligence. Perfection is impossible, but decisive action based on training saves lives and completes the mission. Practical scenario exercise. Here's a daily drill to strengthen decision-making under pressure. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Pick a problem, work-related, personal, or hypothetical. List all options quickly. Limit yourself to 3 to 5 choices. Evaluate the top 2 options based on likely outcomes. Commit to one action immediately. Reflect: was the choice effective? What can improve next time? Repeat this exercise daily, gradually increasing complexity and stakes. Over time, your mind will habitually assess, decide, and act, even under extreme stress. Key takeaways from Chapter 5. Pressure exaggerates fear and narrows perception. Simulation and rehearsal train the brain to act calmly. Rapid assessment focuses on essential information only. The OODA loop provides a structured framework for decisions under stress. Training and habit build confidence and speed. Perfection is secondary. Decision-making under pressure isn't about courage alone. It's about preparation, clarity, and practiced response. The more you simulate stress, focus on essentials, and trust your training, the faster and more reliably you act when it truly matters. Commandos don't hesitate. They act with precision, confidence, and adaptability. By cultivating these skills, you equip yourself to make better choices in every aspect of life, from high-stakes moments to daily challenges. Chapter 6. Adaptability and Problem Solving. Theme: Thrive in Uncertainty. Core lesson: flexibility is a commando's secret weapon. The only certainty in life is uncertainty. For commandos, soldiers, leaders, and high performers, the battlefield, or the workplace, or even daily life, is rarely predictable. Plans fail. Environments shift. Resources disappear. People act unexpectedly. The difference between failure and success is not intelligence, strength, or luck, it's adaptability. The ability to adjust, improvise, and solve problems quickly under pressure is a skill that can be trained, strengthened, and mastered. As the saying goes in the Arab world, particularly among Bedouin communities, "He who adapts survives." This is not a cliché. It's centuries of desert survival distilled into a mindset. In a landscape of scarce resources, harsh weather, and shifting alliances, flexibility isn't optional, it's life itself. Step 1. Improvisation drills. Adaptability begins with improvisation, the capacity to act when the plan is gone, tools are limited, or conditions change unexpectedly. Practical exercises. Take a daily task and remove one key element. Find an alternative way to complete it. Randomly mix resources during practice sessions, e.g., cook a meal with only half the ingredients, solve a puzzle without standard tools. Engage in role-playing. Assign yourself a sudden problem and resolve it in real time. Example: during the Syrian civil war, local relief teams often faced collapsed supply lines. Aid workers had to improvise, repurposing school buses for ambulances, using makeshift water filtration systems, and establishing temporary clinics with minimal equipment. Their adaptability directly saved lives. Step 2. Breaking problems into manageable steps. Big problems can paralyze the unprepared mind. Commandos learn to dissect challenges into actionable pieces, ensuring progress even under pressure. Practical exercises. Write down a complex problem. Identify 3 smaller, actionable steps you can take immediately. Prioritize steps by impact and feasibility. Execute 1 step at a time, adjusting as results emerge. Example: during the Lebanese Cedar Revolution in 2005, activists faced political uncertainty and hostile authorities. They broke large objectives, raising awareness, organizing protests, lobbying leaders, into smaller daily actions. Each incremental success built momentum, turning a seemingly impossible mission into real impact. Breaking problems down keeps your mind clear, prevents overwhelm, and increases confidence in your ability to act. Step 3. Reframing obstacles as opportunities. Adaptable individuals view obstacles not as barriers but as openings for creative action. Practical exercises. When a setback occurs, ask, what advantage does this create? What can I learn? Rephrase negative statements into questions of possibility. Example: I can't do this. How can I accomplish this differently? Keep a lessons learned journal. Note every challenge and the unexpected insights it provides. Example: during the Arab Spring uprisings, many grassroots organizations faced censorship, limited funding, and logistical barriers. Instead of surrendering, they used social media platforms, encrypted messaging, and decentralized networks to organize and communicate. Step 4. Adaptive thinking under stress. Flexibility is meaningless if your mind shuts down under pressure. Commandos train to think clearly, creatively, and strategically in the heat of the moment. Practical exercises. Introduce time constraints to problem-solving exercises. Limit yourself to 5 to 10 minutes to decide and act. Use worst-case scenario drills. Imagine the most chaotic outcome and develop a response plan. Alternate between fast decisions and deliberate reflection in simulated stressful environments. Example: during flood crises in Egypt, volunteers often had to act instantly, coordinating rescue boats, evacuating neighborhoods, and distributing aid, all while communication networks were disrupted. Those who adapted rapidly saved the most lives. Adaptive thinking is a habit of anticipating change, evaluating options, and pivoting effectively, even when outcomes are uncertain. Stepwise approach for daily adaptability. Practice improvisation. Intentionally remove conveniences or resources in daily tasks. Break down challenges. Convert large problems into small, actionable steps. Reframe obstacles. Look for the opportunity in every setback. Stress test your decision-making. Introduce time pressure, distraction, or incomplete information. Reflect daily. What unexpected situations arose? How did you adapt? What can improve? Even small exercises, done consistently, train your mind to see possibility, not limitation, and respond creatively under pressure. Practical scenario exercise. Try this daily adaptability drill. Identify a minor problem or inconvenience, e.g., a broken appliance, delayed commute, or unexpected task. Remove your usual method of solving it. brainstorm 3 alternative solutions in under 5 minutes, choose one and implement it immediately. Reflect. Could you have been faster? Smarter? More resourceful? Over time, your brain begins to expect change, reducing stress when unpredictability hits. You develop flexible confidence, the hallmark of every commando. Key takeaways from Chapter 6. Uncertainty is constant. Adaptability is a survival skill. Improvisation trains your mind to act with creativity and resourcefulness. Breaking problems into manageable steps prevents overwhelm and accelerates action. Obstacles become opportunities when you reframe your perspective. Adaptive thinking under stress is a skill that grows through deliberate practice. Flexibility is not weakness. It is strength under uncertainty. Commandos, activists, and high performers all succeed not because they control the world, but because they control their response to it. By training improvisation, structured problem solving, and adaptive thinking, you turn chaos into opportunity, fear into action, and uncertainty into mastery. Chapter 7. Emotional Control. Stay calm. Stay effective. Theme: mastering fear, frustration, and anger. Core lesson: emotions can empower or derail you. The choice is yours. Imagine standing at the edge of a decision that could change your life, or your survival. Your heart races. Thoughts spiral. Panic whispers lies. Commandos, elite leaders, and disciplined professionals all face this moment. The difference is not that they feel no fear, it's that they manage it. They maintain calm and clarity, turning raw emotion into strategic power. In Japanese culture, the principle of reisei and chaku, cool-headed composure, is highly valued. Samurai and martial arts traditions emphasize calmness under pressure, seeing emotional control as a mark of discipline and honor. Similarly, in Chinese philosophy, Confucian and Taoist teachings encourage emotional balance. The Taoist principle of Wu Wei, often translated as effortless action, is not passivity. It is acting without being ruled by disruptive emotions. Emotional mastery is the silent weapon of high performers. It lets you think clearly, respond strategically, and sustain endurance under stress. Step 1. Recognize and label emotions. Before you can control emotions, you must identify them. Awareness is the first step. Practical exercises. Pause several times a day to check in. What am I feeling right now? Name the emotion without judgment. Anger, fear, frustration, impatience. Note triggers. What events, words, or circumstances provoke these emotions? Example: in traditional Japanese tea ceremonies, practitioners cultivate mindfulness by observing subtle emotions: anxiety about performing correctly, impatience, or distraction, and learning to acknowledge them without losing composure. This simple recognition prevents emotions from hijacking actions. Step 2. Breathing techniques for regulation. Breath is a direct bridge to the nervous system. Slow, controlled breathing reduces adrenaline surges and restores mental clarity. Practical exercises. 4-7-8 breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Repeat 3 to 5 times. Box breathing. Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. Practice deep breathing during minor stress events to make it automatic under real pressure. Example: Shaolin monks in China use controlled breathing as part of meditation and martial training to maintain calm in physically and mentally demanding situations. Even during intense combat practice, breathing anchors the mind and body. Step 3. Cognitive reframing. Emotions are often amplified by the stories we tell ourselves. Reframing changes perception and reduces destructive reactions. Practical exercises. When anger or frustration arises, ask, what is another way to interpret this situation? Turn setbacks into learning opportunities. This is a challenge, not a catastrophe. Practice gratitude in small moments to shift focus from negative to constructive emotions. Example: in Chinese business culture, maintaining harmony during negotiations is paramount. Leaders are trained to reframe disagreements as opportunities for collaboration, preventing anger or frustration from damaging relationships and outcomes. Step 4. Exposure to controlled stress. Emotional resilience grows when the mind practices calm under controlled stress. Practical exercises. Engage in activities that push emotional comfort zones, like public speaking or timed problem solving. Practice mindfulness while performing challenging tasks. Introduce minor surprises or interruptions into routines and observe reactions without overreacting. Example: Japanese martial arts dojos often simulate combat under controlled conditions, teaching students to maintain composure, anticipate opponents, and act decisively despite fear or adrenaline. This trains emotional regulation in real-world contexts. Step 5. Build routine reflection. Daily reflection strengthens emotional control by creating self-awareness and strategy. Practical exercises. Keep a journal of emotionally charged events. Note triggers, reactions, and alternative responses. Reflect on how emotions affected decisions and outcomes, identify patterns, and develop proactive strategies for future stresses. Example: Chinese scholars historically kept self-cultivation journals to track moral and emotional progress, reflecting on failures and successes to cultivate equanimity and wisdom over a lifetime. Practical scenario exercise. Here's a daily emotional control drill. Identify a minor stressor in your day, a challenging conversation, a delay, or criticism. Pause, name your emotion, and take 3 deep breaths. Reframe the situation into a learning opportunity or neutral perspective. Act deliberately based on reasoning, not raw emotion. Journal your reflection. What worked? What can improve next time? Repeating this consistently trains the brain to stay calm, evaluate rationally, and respond strategically, even when stakes rise. Key takeaways from Chapter 7. Emotional control is a skill, not an inherent trait. Awareness and labeling of emotions is the first step. Controlled breathing and mindfulness anchor the mind. Reframing challenges transforms stress into opportunity. Daily reflection and deliberate exposure to stress cultivate long-term resilience. Mastering emotional control is like wielding a silent weapon. Fear, frustration, and anger no longer dictate your actions. Instead, you choose your response. Chinese and Japanese traditions show that centuries of cultural wisdom converge on a simple truth: calmness under pressure is power. Chapter 8. Leadership and Teamwork. Command your environment. Theme: Influence and collaboration. Core lesson: no commando operates alone. Leadership skills multiply effectiveness. A commando may be trained in mental toughness, physical endurance, situational awareness, adaptability, and emotional control. But even the most capable individual is limited without a team. Leadership and teamwork are the force multipliers that transform individual skill into collective success. They are what turn competence into impact, strategy into victory, and survival into achievement. As Indian General Sam Manekshaw once said, leadership is not about being in charge. It is about taking care of those in your charge. In Pakistan, the principle of Hum Sab Kam Ek Saath Khadi Hain, we all work together, reflects a cultural emphasis on collaboration, loyalty, and collective responsibility. These cultural insights are as relevant to commandos as they are to CEOs, athletes, or social leaders. Step 1. Clear communication. Commandos cannot afford confusion. Clear, concise, and purposeful communication ensures that everyone understands the mission, their role, and the stakes. Practical exercises. Practice conveying a complex instruction in 30 seconds or less. Roleplay giving and receiving instructions under timed conditions. Use both verbal and non-verbal cues for clarity. Example: while fighting separatists in various Indian states, the Indian Army teams execute a coordinated mission across difficult terrain. Success depends on precise communication, understanding roles, and adjusting plans in real time. Clear communication eliminates ambiguity, reduces errors, and builds confidence among team members. Step 2. Building trust and accountability. A team is only as strong as the trust its members share. Leadership is less about authority and more about creating an environment where individuals feel safe, valued, and responsible. Practical exercises. Engage in small group challenges where accountability is shared. Practice giving constructive feedback without blame. Lead by example. Demonstrate reliability in small actions before expecting it from others. Example: Pakistani paramilitary units working in disaster relief after floods in Sindh and Punjab relied on trust and accountability to coordinate evacuations, supply distribution, and medical support. Clear responsibilities and mutual trust ensured lives were saved efficiently. Step 3. Decision-making in teams. Even with training, individuals make mistakes under pressure. Strong teams anticipate this by deciding collectively, delegating responsibilities, and allowing rapid adaptation. Practical exercises. Conduct scenario planning exercises in small teams. Assign roles and simulate emergencies. Practice rapid consensus. Identify options, evaluate consequences, decide, and act within 2 to 3 minutes. Reflect after exercises to improve decision flow and coordination. Example: Indian disaster response teams during the 2004 tsunami had to coordinate multiple agencies, military, civil, and international NGOs, under extreme stress. Decisions made collaboratively and communicated clearly saved thousands of lives. Step 4. Adaptive leadership. Leadership is not rigid. Commandos must adapt style and strategy to the environment, the team, and the challenge at hand. Practical exercises. Rotate leadership roles in small group exercises to experience different perspectives. Assess your team's strengths and weaknesses and adapt strategies to optimize output. Practice remaining calm and decisive when initial plans fail. Example: during Pakistan's response to the 2010 superfloods, local leaders had to adapt strategies constantly, changing routes, reallocating resources, and improvising rescue plans. Flexibility and adaptive leadership maximized effectiveness under extreme uncertainty. Step 5. Reflection and continuous improvement. Leadership is learned through action, observation, and reflection. Teams that reflect together grow stronger and more capable. Practical exercises. Conduct after action reviews. What worked? What didn't? What can we do better next time? Encourage team members to provide feedback and contribute solutions, track progress and implement improvements consistently. Example: Indian Army units routinely conduct debriefings after exercises and missions. These structured reflections strengthen cohesion, identify gaps, and refine tactics for future operations. Stepwise approach for daily leadership and teamwork. Communicate clearly. Ensure everyone understands objectives and roles. Build trust. Demonstrate reliability, support, and accountability. Practice team-based decision-making. Simulate challenges and act together. Adapt leadership. Adjust your approach to circumstances and team dynamics. Reflect and improve. Learn collectively from successes and mistakes. Even in everyday life, from workplace projects to family responsibilities, these principles apply. Leadership is about creating conditions where the collective achieves more than the individual ever could. Practical scenario exercise. Here's a daily teamwork and leadership drill. Gather 2 to 3 friends or colleagues. Assign a simple challenge, building a small structure, solving a puzzle, or completing a task. Rotate leadership roles every 10 to 15 minutes. Practice clear communication and delegate tasks strategically. After completing the challenge, reflect: what worked? Where did coordination fail? How could leadership adapt? Repeat regularly. Over time, you develop collaborative skills, trust, and adaptive leadership. Skills essential for commandos, professionals, and life itself. Key takeaways from Chapter 8. Leadership is about serving, guiding, and enabling your team, not commanding for its own sake. Clear communication ensures precision and reduces errors under pressure. Trust and accountability are the backbone of effective teamwork. Adaptive leadership allows you to respond to changing circumstances and team dynamics. Reflection strengthens team cohesion, efficiency, and readiness. No commando operates alone. Even the strongest, fastest, and smartest individual is limited without a team. Leadership and teamwork are force multipliers. They expand your reach, amplify your impact, and create resilience against uncertainty. You have reached the end of this audiobook. But understand this clearly. Training never ends. A commando does not finish training and relax. They integrate the training into who they are. What you've heard is not information to remember. It is a mindset to live. Mental toughness is not loud. It is quiet consistency. It is waking up when it's uncomfortable. Staying calm when things fall apart. Choosing discipline when excuses feel easier. You will not always feel strong. You will not always feel focused. That is normal. What matters is what you do despite how you feel. The world will try to distract you. Comfort will try to soften you. Doubt will try to slow you down. When that happens, remember this. You trained for this. Not just your body. Not just your habits. But your will. A trained mind does not panic. A trained will does not negotiate with weakness. A trained person does not wait for permission to act. Carry this mindset into your mornings, into your work, into moments when no one is watching. Because true toughness is not proven in extreme moments. It is built in ordinary ones. You are not done. You are just beginning. Stronger, calmer, more disciplined than before. Stand steady. Move forward. And train, every day, like a commando.